An unexamined life is not worth living. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. He who has overcome his fears will truly be free. When anger rises, think of the consequences. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. At the touch of love, everyone becomes a poet. Happiness depends upon ourselves. He who learns, but does not think, is lost. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. He who knows others is wise, he who knows himself is enlightened. No man is free who is not master of himself. Patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet. Appear weak when you are strong, and strong when you are weak. The superior man is modest in his speech but exceeds in his actions. The only way to deal with fear is to face it. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. Knowing others is intelligence, knowing yourself is true wisdom. There is only one good, knowledge, and one evil, ignorance. He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. The mind is everything. What you think you become. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Happiness is the meaning and the purpose of life. The whole aim and end of human existence. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. The superior man acts before he speaks, and afterwards speaks according to his actions. Courage is knowing what not to fear. The best way to predict the future is to create it. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. There is no easy way to happiness. It is earned, not given. To live well is to work well, to show a good activity. The wise man does not lay up his own treasures, the more he gives to others, the more he has for his own. He who knows that enough is enough will always have enough. The noblest pleasure is the joy of understanding. He who conquers others is strong, he who conquers himself is mighty. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. Set aside all assumptions and be open to knowledge. The harder the conflict, the greater the triumph. A man who has committed a mistake and doesn't correct it is committing another mistake. The mind once enlightened cannot again become dark. He who is contented is rich. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. I hear, and I forget. I see, and I remember. I do, and I understand. Excess in anything becomes a fault. A wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be. Do not do to others what you do not want done to yourself. Be silent, or let thy words be worth more than silence. It is not living that matters, but living rightly. Time is the wisest counselor of all. Wisdom is the reward for surviving our own stupidity. The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled. Choose rather to be strong of soul than strong of body. Great results are achieved through small, but consistent efforts. Rest is for the weary. Sleep is for the dead. Poverty is the parent of revolution and crime. Well-being is attained by little and little, and nevertheless is no little thing itself. A good decision is based on knowledge, not on numbers. Wealth is the slave of a wise man and the master of a fool. He who wishes to secure the good of others has already secured his own. A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions. Do not seek to follow in the footsteps of the wise, seek what they sought. True wisdom comes to each of us when we realize how little we understand about life, ourselves, and the world around us. No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river and he's not the same man. The aim of the wise is not to secure pleasure, but to avoid pain. Be ashamed to die until you have won some victory for humanity. He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. Happiness is the highest good. Character is destiny. He who is unable to live in society, or who has no need because he is sufficient for himself, must be either a beast or a god. Do not anticipate trouble or worry about what may never happen. Keep in the sunlight. in character, in manner, in style, in all things. The supreme excellence is simplicity. The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing. It is not length of life, but depth of life. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. A room without books is like a body without a soul. The greatest blessings of mankind are within us, and within our reach. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. All men's souls are immortal, but the souls of the righteous are immortal and divine. Fortune and love favor the brave. Wealth and poverty do not lie in a man's estate, but in men's souls. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. The good man is the friend of all living things. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. The more you know yourself, the more you understand life. No evil can happen to a good man, either in life or after death. The measure of a man is what he does with power. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. Freedom is the open window through which pours the sunlight of the human spirit and human dignity.